Hello everyone, thank you for watching VATV. My name is Khan Mendelowitz and I'm your host today. VATV is the voice of Vietnamese American in the Greater Boston area. It is sponsored by VATV, the Vietnamese American Initiative for Development, which is a non-profit organization in Dorchester. The first half of our 1-hour weekly program is in Vietnamese, and the second half is in English. You can watch us live every Wednesday evening from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. on Channel 9 if you have Comcast, and Channel 15 if you have RCN. You can also go on bnntv.org to watch us live, and if you happen to miss our live television program, it will rebroadcast on Sunday at 5 p.m., Monday at 1 p.m., and Tuesday at 11 a.m. Call in 617-708-3290. To watch any of our TV shows, please go on to our home website at vatv.org. Today's program is about OLLI, and we are pleased to have two lovely guests, Diane and Tom. Good evening, Diane and Tom.
Good evening.
Good evening. Thank you for inviting us.
Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, I will start. My name is Diane McCormack, and I live in Dorchester with my husband, Tom. And we're very excited to be here to talk about the OLLI program.
We've lived in Dorchester since 1977, and we've been involved in the OLLI program probably about 12 years. I joke with the professors over there that although we join, we never retire, or we never graduate.
Yeah.
Since we retire, we can stay there as long as we want.
So, what is OLLI?
Okay, OLLI stands for OSHA Lifelong Learning Institute, and it's a program that's been at the University of Massachusetts since 1999, and it's a program that's devoted for people who are 50 years of age or better. We like to say that, 50 years or better.
That's its mission.
And that's its mission,
Yes.
To provide lifelong learning because the research has shown that when people age, it's very important for them to continue learning in their life. And it used to be that people, when they would retire, they would be expected simply to stay at home, maybe stay in their rocking chair and not really do much. But the research shows that since we are living longer, it's really important to continue learning.
That's true.
It's very important to continue learning.
Yeah, it's a very popular concept of lifelong learning now across the United States. And our OLLI program stands for OSHA Lifelong Learning Institute. And it's one of at least, how many are there? There's one in each state.
Yeah,
we have 4 of them in Massachusetts.
Yeah, there are 117 nationwide, at least one in every state. In Massachusetts, we have 4.
And we have 4 of them in Massachusetts.
We have 4 of them in Massachusetts.
So it's at UMass.
UMass, Brandeis University, Tufts, and then there's another program out in the western part of the state that's fairly large in terms of geography.
Greenfield Community
College. And each of them had been initially given grants to start up, and the rest of the supports come from the university or the college that hosts them. So UMass Boston has been very generous in hosting us at the campus. We draw a lot of our faculty from the campus, from either graduate students, doctoral students there that want to learn how to present to somebody.
It says, so how many members in OLLI?
At the University of Mass, we have about 1,200 members now.
Wow,
and they come from outside of Boston all the way down the South Shore, even out as far as Hull and up on the North Shore. We have them from Cambridge and Somerville, and I think there's even somebody coming down from Newburyport or something. Yeah.
So if they're in North Shore, do you have the program in like UMass, Lowell, or any different university?
No.
It's the main campus is where most of the programming happens. However, the university does have satellite linkage possibilities, and we have a second campus at Plymouth.
Yeah.
And we have some classes that actually are presented there, but most of them are there from
So Plymouth is like from the South Shore and
Yeah,
UMass
yeah,
Boston for
yeah.
people from the North Shore.
And Hingham Library
very
also has a program,
convenient, yes.
a satellite linkage, so they have classes there. And we also have one last year that opened in Nantucket.
Oh,
So there are some
Beautiful
discussions
place, yeah.
about whether we want people to come to the campus or whether we want to provide a learning experience closer to their home. As people get older, it's harder to travel.
so how many programs OLLI offer?
Well, this semester coming up, we have 66 courses. The courses, some of them last about 4 or 5 sessions, and some of them last 10 to 12 sessions.
Yeah.
And we schedule them from about 9:30 in the morning. Classes would meet up until about 3:30, so we can avoid the rush hour for our members. A single class might last about an hour and a half or an hour and 45 minutes. And we have facilitators. We don't call them professors because we really want them to facilitate the conversation, because we recognize that any senior coming into our program, any member, is going to have a lot of information to share. So if we have a course, a history course, for instance, about the Vietnam War, we would have some class members that maybe had visited Vietnam, might have had some people that had served in Vietnam. So it adds a very rich texture to the class because people have a personal experience that they want to talk about. And many of the facilitators ask the class members, we're going to talk about a certain topic, would you like to prepare something for it? Mm-hmm. So that gets our members going to the library and going on the web to learn about something new.
Okay.
Yeah, now I want to mention that to be a member, there are no grades, there's no tests. So people really come because they want to learn. They really enjoy learning.
Yeah.
And that's really the only criteria. Other than being 50 years old, it's an interest in learning. The classes run for a semester, and the length of the class is determined by the facilitator. If the facilitator thinks that they have enough material to do 4 meetings or 6 meetings, then the class is set for that. And it's once a week, and you come for that hour and a half, and you attend those classes with that facilitator. You can take 3 classes each semester.
Oh, that's nice.
And we have 2 semesters in the year.
Well, some of the classes are about art, some of them are drawing, painting, some of them are about business and technology. Some of our members like to learn how to use their digital camera or how to use an iPad.
So the course is not only in classroom, it can be outside the
Correct.
classroom.
Yes.
Yeah, we have a very nice course that's offered in collaboration with Friends of the Harbor. And the university has a boat, a ship that they use for their oceanography program. And we rent it for part of this course. And the course is to visit the harbor islands with a historian or a person who understands the history of the islands. And it's a 2-semester course because you can't get around to them. And we go out and visit the islands and get off and we walk around and they talk about the forts that were there or the history or the institutions that had been there in the past. It's a very popular course. And then we have other courses, history courses where, like walking tours of Boston, we walk around the city, and depending on the instructor of the course, they give you a history lesson by walking around the city.
Yeah. It seems very interesting and seems like everyone can join the class and the program. But how about the language? So
well, the classes are all
any language tests to requirement?
There's no requirement prerequisite that you have to prove anything. If you are interested in learning, some of our members maybe understand English better than they can speak it because maybe they came later in life and they haven't gone through school.
Yeah, that's happened in the Vietnamese community too, I believe.
Yes, I think that's true. And very often they might not feel comfortable in that environment. So we try to invite people, and if they're willing to, the classes are going to be in English. But we've had some Vietnamese students take the French class, French cinema. It's called French Conversation Through Cinema, and the class is they watch a movie in French, and then they discuss it in French. And then afterwards they go and get something to eat, and they probably do a little bit of French. So some of the Vietnamese people might be able to participate in that class.
Yeah. Also, there are a lot of exercise classes. We have Tai Chi, Qigong, that are usually taught by some of the Asian graduate students.
Yeah.
So they're nonverbal kinds of programming.
There's a chair meditation program that would be good for somebody who didn't have much English language, and also a yoga class that would be also good for somebody that doesn't demand a lot of language.
Yeah.
And as a member of the university community, you do get a student ID card, which means that you have access to the swimming program, the swimming pool, to the gym, weight room, to the library, to the cafeteria. So you really can become a part of the community. I mean, you're accepted in all part of the community, and you can actually go to things that are community offered too as a student. And I'm not quite sure. There's a big Vietnamese community at UMass Boston.
Yeah, that's a lot of benefit.
I'm sure there are a lot of kind of side benefits.
UMass ID, and you can use the facility and the library and
some museums
resource from UMass.
Some museums also allow you to
honor
go.
That
honor that as a student. For instance, the John F. Kennedy Museum and the new Edward M. Institute for the Study of the Kennedy Institute for the Study of the Senate. EMK Institute, they call it.
Yeah.
You're allowed to use your ID to go to that museum, and that's good.
Yeah.
The museum, occasionally they will advertise on campus that they have tickets for a Red Sox game or a Bruins game, and so we're eligible to wait in line with the other students and buy a ticket. One lovely thing about being on the campus, the Harbor campus, is that we have a great opportunity to interact with the many undergraduate and graduate students who are there. And it's a very diverse campus. We have students from all over New England and all over the world.
Yeah, I went to that campus, and I feel like I'm in United Nations.
United Nations, exactly.
There's a lot of different people.
Now, in addition to the classes, the courses, the catalog, this is the catalog that comes out twice a year. It's mailed to members. I don't know, is there a camera out there? Maybe it's over here. And it lists the catalog, the courses that are offered for the semester. As you go through the courses, you pick it by day, and it'll tell you the number of days that it's being offered, so you know how you plan your schedule for the year. But we also offer a theater program where people, we have group theater where people can go to the theater as part of a group, and of course that's always interesting. And we have one-day kind of speaker presentations called Brown Bags for people who are trying to talk about a new book they wrote. This fall, some of the Brown Bags are What's So Smart About the Smart Grid, Saving Lives One at a Time, an introduction to the whys, whens, and hows of preserving your family history, Cuba in Transition, Remember the Armenian Genocide. So a lot of people have kind of a deep interest in a subject, and they come in and present for the day.
They can visit the website of OLLI, and
they can,
they can find out the program.
And actually, our website has a lot of information, and it also has some sample lectures, so that people could.
They're very good to test out.
You could look at a sample lecture, and anything that is video conferenced. A number of our classes that we have at UMass are broadcast to Plymouth or to Hingham or to Nantucket, to our satellites. So they keep a record of that. They keep a tape of that. That's probably the wrong word. Digital. It's digitally preserved in some way. So you can go on the website and go under sample lectures and watch. I do that if I miss a class. I can take it that way.
And that would be a good way to get a sense of whether you're comfortable with the language that's being offered, if it's enough of the English, to see if it would make sense to think about that instructor or that course.
But I have to tell you about one of our other events that we do is travel. We have a series of day trips where we meet at the university and go off in a bus together to go to museums, for instance, the Worcester Museums or
the Boston Museum of Art.
We've actually never done that one because it's so close, but because we would probably just go by.
I love that museum.
But that is a beautiful museum.
We go with our student ID and you get a student discount.
Yes. So we can go to, for instance, New Bedford. A group went down to New Bedford and learned about the whaling and so forth. And then we do some overnight trips within the United States, and then we do some international trips. Now, those you do have to pay more. It's not just your $195 membership fee for 1 year. You have to pay more for those trips.
So international trip is like where?
Tom and I have been on several. We've been to Thailand. We've been to
Vietnam.
Yes, we had a wonderful trip to Vietnam. There has been a trip to Cuba. And to Europe, several trips to Europe.
There have been some riverboat trips, I guess.
That's very interesting.
And Canada. So a lot of whatever the members want to do, we try to organize them to.
Yeah, they do organize national trips that, like to Grand Canyon or some within the state, which is somewhat more reasonably priced than the cost of airfare. So, I mean, there's the day trips, then there's the overnight trips, and then there's international travel trips.
Wow, that's cool.
Yeah, it is.
I'm sure after watching TV tonight, there will be many 50-plus citizens want to join OLLI.
I hope so. We will welcome them.
Yeah, can you say again about the website? Yeah,
the website is www.olli.umb.edu. And if that's too confusing, they can just Google and lifelong learning or OLLI at UMass Boston.
And they can call this number, 617-287-7312, and Lucy is bilingual. So.
Yeah, our secretary, our office manager is a bilingual person. So
and everyone can join the program?
Yes, there's no restrictions. Everyone who wants to learn, and we do it for the joy of learning. No tests, no report cards, no grades, no certificates. Well, sometimes there is homework because people want to read about something. We also have another, if I have time just to mention another area, we have
about 5 minutes.
There's something called special interest groups, because we learned that some people, that beyond just going to a class for 5 or 7 or 8 sessions, they wanted to study something a little bit in more depth. So we have several special interest groups. We have book discussions. We have 2 different book groups where members will organize themselves and they read a book and get together to discuss it. We have one on culinary adventures. Tom has been involved in that. They do some
what
really
they do is
fun
they just
things.
plan on a restaurant to go to every month.
Yeah.
And they go where they meet and go to a restaurant, different restaurants around the area. The meditation and wellness group, that's a special interest groups that meet. And we also have a Stonewall LGBT group for people who are interested in getting together more with LGBT other members. And we have a women's her story. I think that you can tell more.
Yeah, the her story, women's rather than history, her story, and it's looking at women's history, because so often when we were growing up, women's history was kind of ignored. I think that's changing a bit now for women.
So
but
it's become her story.
Her story.
Her story, yeah.
Her story.
Yeah.
And we have a walking group that gets together they say we'll meet at a certain place and get the exercise. And we have writing group and an art history group and a Qigong practice where they get together on a regular basis.
Some people, when they like it...
What is Qigong practice?
Qigong is a type of meditative exercise. It's from the Chinese tradition.
Yeah.
And the woman that teaches it is very experienced, and she provides classes and instruction.
So that's good for all 50-plus citizens.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you, Diane and Tom, for
You're
coming
welcome.
here tonight.
Well, thank you for letting us talk about OLLI. We love OLLI.
Yeah.
Once again, we thank you for watching VATV. Any questions, comments, or contribution, please call us at 617-822-3717 or email us at vatv@vieted.org. Thanks also to BNN crew. Have a great week and goodbye for now.